views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we have some upcoming events taking during this year's Bronx Week in our special edition of Open Weekend Preview. And after that, we'll hear from the Art Students League of New York to discuss their upcoming startup weekend in celebration of the arts organizations being of service for 125 years. Then, in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, we'll speak to Mexican jazz singer Kimberly Fergie, who will discuss the significance of the holiday and an upcoming Cinco de Mayo festival taking place this weekend. She'll even perform a piece you won't want to miss. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And finally, our Open Artist Spotlight shines on iconic spoken word artist Flaco Navaja, breaking down evolution of a sonero and what to expect for Pregones PRTT's Stage Garden Rumba event. So sit back y prepárate, all this and more is coming your way because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche, always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget to follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Insta Stories at Rhina Valentin. All right, so Bronx Week, the most highly anticipated celebration of the Bronx, its culture and its people is right around the corner. And so I suggest you get your pen and papers out because coming up, we're going to share some events for you to consider in this Bronx Week special edition of Open Weekend Preview. On Friday, May 11th, over 400 financial leaders, business owners, real estate brokers, accountants, attorneys, and technical assistance providers will gather together for the 19th annual Banker Breakfast. And this event will provide established individuals and organizations the opportunity to meet lenders actively working to assist business initiatives of New York's 504 loan program. And for those interested in attending the breakfast, you can email Roger at boedc.org, or you can call 718-590-3980. The Bronx Borough President's Office, Bronx Fathers Taking Action, and New York City is presenting Family Day Olympiad for Bronx Week. And parents and children will have the opportunity to bond with one another by competing in the Olympic-style event. The recommended age for the outing event is ages 6 to 16 and will take place in Williamsbridge Oval Park, which is located at 3225 Reservoir Oval from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Families must RSVP to attend. And for additional information, you can call 718-590-6431 and or send an email to agraud@bronxbp.nyc.gov. Every year, Bronx Week features the annual parade, food festival, and concert. And well, everyone from celebrities, community organizations, marching bands, school sports teams, civics groups, they'll all march along Marshalltown Parkway celebrating the Bronx and its people. And this year will make the 46th anniversary of the parade. And the parade is set to start at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, May 20th on Marshalltown Parkway. And if you are an institution and would like to participate in the parade, send an email to mmajor@bodc.org, or you can call 718-590-6012. And after the parade, Bronx residents will be able to enjoy the Food and Arts Festival, which also offers food handcrafted by Bronxites, along with special items made by Bronx-based artists. So if you're a food vendor and would like a booth, you can contact FPJ Amusements at 718-540-3320. And if you're an art vendor and want a booth, you can send an email to mnixon@bodc.org or call 718-590-8310. I hope you took out that pen and paper like I suggested at the top of the segment. However, you can always rewind and play it back. All right, there you have it. I hope you guys are all set for Bronx Week. So lastly, the Bronx concert will also feature all types of performances taking place. That's also happening on Sunday, May 20th, and that's beginning at 11:30 a.m. And of course, all this information is available to you by going to ilovethebronx.com. That's ilovethebronx.com. Enjoy. All right, so BronxNet cameras had the opportunity to capture the Dream Unfinished Activist Orchestra as part of the Lincoln Center Borough Link series, and Veronica, that's hilarious. Reporter Veronica Guiti has the story.
Lincoln Center's Borough Link series came to Hostos Community College with the Dream Unfinished Orchestra Band. The family-friendly event is the third of the series taking the stage.
Borough Link is a series in partnership with Hostos Center for the Arts and Culture here in the Bronx. This week was The Dream Unfinished, playing the music of Tanya Leon. We're hoping that the community is celebrating culture here in the Bronx as an act of resistance. And we're hoping that we are joining that in the Bronx and supporting it. So Lincoln Center is acknowledging the incredible culture that is thriving in the Bronx through this partnership. Hostos does tremendous work in the community with local artists and international artists, and so we're proud to be a part of that.
We are so fortunate to be in our second year of partnership with Lincoln Center Education. They are presenting us in this performance called I Am in Constant Transit, and it's part of a season where they're highlighting music from the Caribbean, and they have a focus on climate change, and our season has a focus on immigration. And so this concert that is being broadcast is all music by a Cuban-American composer named Tanya Leon.
Composer Tanya Leon says that her music represents all of her experiences that she has gone through, and that she was excited to see it displayed on the stage.
I was trained in the conservatory, but also I was trained in the streets of Havana. So, there's improvisation, there is, the rigors of academia, there is the fact that I'm a professor now, so, it's a structure, form, all of that is in there, but basically I think there is a sum total of my experiences as a musician.
You can find out more about Lincoln Center Education and the events they have in the community by logging onto their website at lincolncenter.org/BoroughLink. For BronxNet, I'm Veronica Guiti.
Thank you, Veronica. We do have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn more about an organization dedicated to the arts 125 years. Don't go anywhere.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So for over a century, the Art Students League of New York has been dedicated to providing high-quality education and instructions in the fine arts. The institution has created a space and opportunities for aspiring artists to express themselves creatively and freely as part of the League's 125th anniversary. That's amazing. The Arts School is having a startup weekend filled with auctions, events, and a performance party. And joining us now to share more, we welcome Art Students League of New York Events Director Rachel Strader and artist Danielle Colon. Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
So, what an amazing accomplishment the school has had. I mean, 125 years. So, shall we begin with how long you've been with the organization, and I guess what drew you towards the organization?
I've been with the organization only since this past summer, but I come from a family of artists, so it felt very much like home when I walked through those doors.
Okay, so are you in the actual organization, or are you the coordinator for this particular event?
I'm in the organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
And then, well, Danielle, right? You're one of the instructors as well?
I am an instructor. I've been a student for a lot longer, though.
Really? So how long have you been a student?
I moved up to New York to go specifically to the Art Students League about 15 years ago. And I still take classes there. And I will be teaching a workshop this summer.
So you've been there long enough to give us a little insight on what this process is, right? Because I find the concept very fascinating, and just for an organization to be able to sustain themselves all these years on 57th Street, I mean, that's high real estate there. So give us a little background on how the actual process begins.
Well, I think what's really key about the Art Students League is that you have a base of really talented and knowledgeable instructors, which is what I came there for to begin with. But what I found was this really vibrant community of artists, all ages, all levels of skill, all there just really dedicated to learning their craft.
So these artists that we're referencing, are these artists that were students of the Artist League, or were they artists that just came to teach there? Like, I wonder if most of the instructors originate from the actual league itself.
I think a lot of them do. I think there's a lineage, definitely, of students to instructors. And all of the instructors there are working artists themselves. So it really is a community of artists for artists.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the genres of art, right? Mm-hmm. Would you like to share that?
Oh, yeah. So the Art Students League provides classes in drawing and painting and sculpture, printmaking, and mixed media. I think we have up to 100 classes running every month, and at different times during the day. So it's really accessible, it's really affordable, and I think, again, as Daniel said, it's for people who are coming in with all different skill levels.
It sounds like a fun school to be in.
It really is.
You've been there, right? You're still there.
I mean, I think everyone really comes together. You have instructors, students, models. It really feels like a big family. And when I leave for a little while and come back, it feels like home.
So how do they pull it off when it comes to designing the schedules? Because I researched it, and I understand that people can actually they have choices. They can either go to school full time, they can go part time, they can just do a workshop. They can go to school either in the morning, in the afternoon, or the evening. I mean, I'm just like, wow, this is like a dream school for artists, right? Because artists, everybody works or becomes creative or is inspired during very different hours, and so.
Yeah. So I think, just because it was founded for artists by artists, they had that in mind. They understood that, these classes need to be something that everyone can afford. And so they've scheduled it just as you said. So everybody's artistic process is kind of different. When they wake up during the day is a little different. So they've made sure to kind of work with the instructors to provide, again, the drawing, printmaking, painting, sculpture, mixed media classes for a range of
And so I understand we have some images some images of Danielle's work. Can we show that and can we discuss that a little bit? I guess we can talk a little bit about your class and your art and I guess what you've chosen here, what we're looking at.
Oh, this is a painting of.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, so
That's right.
this is a painting of a model at the Art Students League, Freddie, and this is actually done in one of the classrooms there.
Wow.
It's what a class there of this type is. There's a big variety of classes at the Art Students League, but a figurative class like this, it's about 3 hours long. You've got a model up on a stage. He's surrounded by artists, all different skill levels, and they're all working, trying to do their best representation of the person that's standing there.
So everybody at their level is in the same room, in the same class. So how does that work?
You know, I think it works really great because you get so much information shared amongst the students in addition to the instructor who's there going around giving their input, their critiques, their support, their advice, and you get this very interactive community.
And so we're looking at this image.
This is a personal painting of mine done in my studio in the South Bronx. It's a portrait of a friend from a few years ago, and it was just exploring her personality and some compositional techniques and seeing, just looking for beauty in different ways.
So is that created from an image, like a photograph, or from her?
No, this is work probably from life for the most part.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you always do it like that?
You know, I start off from life as the basis generally, and sometimes I'll take reference pictures and I'll make sketches and then kind of put everything together. But it really starts off with the experience of being in front of whatever it is I'm painting.
All right, so let's talk about the startup weekend.
Yes. Yeah, so startup is going to be taking place beginning on Friday, May 11th, down at the Art Students League on 57th Street. And again, this is in celebration of our 125th anniversary of being on 57th Street. So we know it's a very kind of can be an imposing building, but it's really very accessible. We're opening up the doors. We're inviting people to see the art that is made there. On the first night, we're having a reception and auction, kind of a fundraiser for us.
And that's on
Friday, May 11th.
May 11th,
yes.
Right? So it starts then.
Yes.
And that
yes.
time?
From 7 to 10.
7 to 10.
Yeah.
And anybody can attend?
Yes, it's a ticketed event,
Right.
so tickets start at $250. It's a fundraiser.
Right.
And we're working with Paddle 8, an online auction company, to present an auction of our instructor work. Again, people who are internationally recognized artists. And then next day, we will be hosting an open house, open studios event. And that is something that is really accessible to everyone. Tickets are $15 for adults, 10 for children.
And that one starts at?
Starts at 11 a.m.,
Okay.
runs until 3 p.m. And this is where our instructors and our students are pulling together, and they are presenting drop-in workshops and demos and some talks and tours of the building to kind of illustrate all the different things that happen there at the League. So it's completely open. All 5 floors are accessible. We encourage people to come down and try their hand at art.
And then is there a closing party?
There is, yes.
That's the one, I guess, that popped out for me.
Yes, that's a fun one. Back in the day, the Art Students League used to host these crazy events called the Dream Ball. And they used to be hosted at the Waldorf Astoria for like 4,000 people. And being art students, you know, they would get dressed up, they would make their costumes. There would be a huge parade associated with it. And we're hoping, you know, we know this may not, you know, quite be that, but we're going to encourage people to dress in costume and come and enjoy, you know, some dancing, some drinking, some, again, the festivities will include the exhibitions and the auction, so they can take part in that too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel. And Daniel, you have a studio here before we go, right? You said you have a studio?
I do. I've lived in the Bronx for 11 years now. I came up here and to live and work, and I love it here. I would not want to be anywhere else in New York City.
All right, we got a BX artist boy in the house. Thank you for coming here, sharing with our viewers.
Thank you for having
Daniel,
us.
Rachel, once again, you guys, for more information on the Art Students League of New York and their startup weekend, visit artstudentsleague.org. We are taking a quick break, but when we return, we sit down with Mexican jazz singer Kimberly Fergie. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. my human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hello, welcome back to Open, everyone. I was inviting you to stay connected with us. That's right. Like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, well, our next guest is a New York-based Mexican-born jazz singer who's going to share with us what significance Cinco de Mayo plays within her culture and the upcoming festival. Please welcome Kimberly Fergie. Hello and welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Well, you got the giggle bug. That's what I told my daughter. I'm like, oh, we got the giggle bug. What are you giggling for at the top of our interview?
I know, right?
What are you giggling? You're nervous? It's a nervous giggle?
Yeah.
It's all right. You're good. You're good. I got you. So tell us about what Cinco de Mayo has meant for you throughout your years of growing.
Well, I'm from Puebla, so to me it's really significant. Even people, well, it was a shock when I moved here and I saw that a lot of Mexican people celebrate Cinco de Mayo here more than
in
Puebla,
Mexico, yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I embrace that culture because that makes me feel home. So now that I'm coming here to speak and to let you know more about the festival that it's happening on Saturday, this Saturday, it makes me feel like home.
Yeah, all right. So we got that you feel at home. So I want to know what the difference is in the way they celebrate it here versus the way they celebrate it over there.
Well,
and first, tell us what is the celebration of Cinco de Mayo, because it's important that we share with everyone the cultural history.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo was in Puebla, and it was a war. Kind of war or the battle between the French government or the French army versus the Mexican army. So we didn't win the real war, but we won a battle. Right. And it saved time for the U.S. Army to it saved some time. So it was significant.
For the Mexicans to feel accomplished, yes. Yes, because you won a battle.
Yeah,
so at the end of the day, you're celebrating victory.
Yeah.
And Cinco de Mayo is the day of significance.
That's right.
It's the 5th of May.
That's right. Then later, today, because there is a lot of Poblanos, so Poblanos is people who born in Puebla. So because in New York City there is a lot of Poblanos, I believe that was the first reason that they embraced that celebration, and that's why nowadays we make a big party and a lot of things are happening.
Right, it's a celebratory, right? It's a big celebration. And so with yourself as a musician, and now you're going to be contributing to this festival that's going to be pretty big on 116th Street this Saturday. What made you decide to become jazz, right? So now you're fusing your cultura with jazz, which is beautiful. It's lovely. I'm just curious to know how that happened.
Well, I didn't know what's the meaning of jazz until I searched in YouTube Billie Holiday. So Billie Holiday attracted me, and that's why I decided to go for the root of jazz. However, my Mexican culture will be always behind and will be my roots. So I decided it will be a really amazing mix between Mexican culture and the American culture. And now that I moved here and I graduate from BMCC, and that I have the opportunity to expand my knowledge with all the musicians that live here, I found that it's a joy to do Mexican jazz.
So I understand that you've been blessed with the opportunity to record with like really well-known musicians that are versed in a certain style called ragtime.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? No, it's kind of cool. I'm like, wow, we got ragtime mixed with Cinco de Mayo. That's hot. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, well, his name is Terry Waldo, and it was last year when we recorded in the Big Orange Ship Studios in Brooklyn, alongside Danny Tobias, Dan Levinson, Eric Alfaro, which is another Mexican artist, Jai LePlay, Jago Velasquez. So we have people from Spain, people from here, people from Mexico, and this talking about the festival that it's happening this Saturday.
And what time does the festival happen this Saturday?
From 12 to 6.
It's from 12 to 6, and it's on 116th Street between 3rd and 2nd?
That's right. And so the meaning here is that as you can mix different cultures in music, this festival, it's mixing different cultures. We not only have Mexican artists, we are going to have Ecuadorian, we are going to have Dominican, Jorge Fierro, which is the person responsible or the person behind the whole organization. He creates all the relationships between Latino culture, which is really, really hard to do it. But at the end of the day, on Saturday, you will see a lot of fun,
right.
a lot of...
It sounds to me like it's going to be a variety. It's going to be diverse Latino music. So even though yours is a fusion, you have other types of culturas, right? You said Dominican and what else?
Ecuadorian, from Salvador.
So their cultural music is going to be celebrated within the Cinco de Mayo festival, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Oh, so it's going to be very colorful.
Yes.
Very nice.
And the food.
Of course.
We also, I'm here to invite you to support the local artists, to support the local venues, that it's, because all the restaurants in 116th Street will be open.
Right.
It's also important to say that will be open to the public, free, and it's for the whole family, so won't be drink allowed.
Right.
But you can go to the restaurants, have your shot, and then come back.
All right, so it's a family affair. All right, so you're going to give us a taste of what you're going to be presenting on Saturday, right?
Yes.
So before we go, you want to set it up real quick? What are you going to say for us?
Sure. So this is my own composition alongside Eric Alfaro, which is my right-hand man, as you say here, and it's called Tell Me.
Beautiful. I can't wait till you tell us. Woo! Kimberly Fergie, everyone. She's going to tell us. Well, with Tell Me, that is. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, Kimberly Fergie is going to perform, Tell Me, a tribute for Cinco de Mayo. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. Here now to perform, she's going to give us a little taste of Tell Me. Please welcome Kimberly Fergie.
Someday I'll find you sitting next to me. We were young and we were in love. What a joy if you should tell me that you won't give me the moon. If you should tell me that some nights are cold. If you should tell me that you will let me go. If you should tell me that you will let me go. Every night I wake up thinking about you. What a spell you put on me. Please let me free. If you should tell me that you won't give me the moon. If you should tell me that you will let me go. If you should tell me that some nights are cold. If you should tell me that you will let me go. If you should tell me that you won't give me the moon. If you should tell me that you will let me go. If you should tell me that some nights are cold. If you should tell me that you will let me go.
Kimberly Fergie, everyone. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, you guys, for more Kimberly Fergie music, be sure to check her out on YouTube at Fergie Kimberly, or of course you can see her live along with all the other celebrations of this Cinco de Mayo festival that's taking place on this Saturday, May 5th at East 116th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Thank you, thank you. All right, once again, you guys stay tuned. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next. Tell me.
This is Bobby C. out at Citi Field. It's hard to believe, but ace Noah Syndergaard and the Mets were outdueled by a rookie pitcher and an upstart Atlanta Braves lineup filled with rookies. All the buzz around baseball centering around a 20-year-old Venezuelan rookie named Ronald Acuna Jr., who had 2 hits in this game, including a big one in the first inning as the Braves score 3 against Noah Syndergaard. Thoughts on Noah Syndergaard and being able to hit a quality pitcher like him?
He's an incredible pitcher and a great ball player, and you know, every time I go out in the field, I try to give him my best effort, and fortunately tonight we were able to pull off the win.
You put Acuna in there with you know, Albies and all those guys, and then Freeman you can just flat out hit. I don't care who you are pitching. They're pretty good, you know, and they play the game the right way. They're a really good team.
Atlanta starter rookie Mike Soroka grew up idolizing Noah Syndergaard. He got a chance to outduel him in this one.
He's been someone to watch the last few years for me, for sure. I mean, he's electric, and the way he takes the mound is pretty admirable. So, I mean, just being able to match up against him and go toe-to-toe is pretty special. It's truly amazing to be up here with this team. You know, they've been a really fun team to watch down in Gwinnett, at least for the last month. And I mean, hopefully to get up here and contribute to some wins is pretty special.
You can go out there one day and it feels completely like me. I felt like I was doing the same stuff I was doing against the Cardinals, but completely different results. Let's back to the drawing board tomorrow and start working on my mechanics more and get the ball for another 5 days.
Atlanta didn't just win Tuesday night. The Braves showed in a big way on Thursday afternoon that they are not going away in the National League East Division race. Right-hander Julio Teheran had his best game of the season as Atlanta pounded the Mets 11-0 at Citi Field. The Braves not only swept the 3-game series, but they have won 7 of their last 8 games and strengthened their hold on first place in the NL East with a 1.5 lead over the Amazons. Relegated to the bullpen, Matt Harvey was still disastrous, but the Mets are at least with some good news with starter Jacob deGrom, who despite some elbow issues has no ligament damage and appears on track to make his next start for the Mets. The Mets will welcome the Rockies to Flushing this weekend. Nearly 7 months ago, the New York Yankees were celebrating beating the Cleveland Indians in Game 5 of the American League Division Series. This time, the stakes will not be nearly as high, and the winner will be merely shaking hands on the field following the final out tonight at the ballpark. The Indians and Yankees got together, well, they will get together for the first time since that postseason series, starting a 3-game set tonight at Yankee Stadium. Tonight is Aaron Judge bobblehead night, Jedi bobblehead night at the ballpark. Fans are encouraged to head out to the ballpark early. If you haven't been keeping tabs on the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers have been hotter than Thursday's weather, like scorching hot. You could argue that this is baseball's best team. No offense is deeper, no bullpen is better. 2 weeks ago, the Yankees were 7.5 games out of first place in the AL East at 9-9. Those Yanks were far from great. Meanwhile, the Red Sox were flying high out of the gate at 17-2. Since then, the Pinstripers have won 12 of 13 beginning April 21st with a 9-game winning streak before a Monday night loss to the Astros in Houston. They shook that one off and won the next 3 at Minute Maid Park, where they were 0-4 in last season's AL Championship Series. At one point, the Yankees held the Astros scoreless for 28 consecutive innings. The Astros broke that streak with 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th yesterday and took a 2-run lead into the 9th, but not so fast. The Yanks won again, rallying for 3 runs and a 6-5 victory. So they return to Yankee Stadium for a 9-game homestand against the Indians, those Boston Red Sox, and the Oakland A's. While the Yanks have knocked off 6.5 games off the Red Sox lead, Boston at 22-9 leads the AL East by 1 game after losing to the Texas Rangers on Thursday night in Arlington. More nuggets of goodness on the Yankees' hot streak in today's C-list, so stay tuned. Time for some big hitters from around the world of sports in the MLS. Big weekend for NYCFC and the Red Bull fans here in the Bronx. The New York Derby heats up again Saturday afternoon, and this might be the most anticipated crosstown clash yet, with both New York City FC and New York, the Red Bulls, sporting young, dynamic, deep squads. After losing the first 4 matches against the Red Bulls, NYCFC has won 3 of the last 5. The draw last August was the first in the rivalry's history in league play. From the NBA hardwood, the New York Knicks have found their next head coach. On Thursday, the franchise completed what they hope is the first step in the process of returning to relevance by hiring David Fizdale as their new head coach. The Knicks have had 11 different coaches since the 2001-02 season, have won just 1 playoff series in that span, and have left a loyal fan base very frustrated. With Fizdale in place, the club will turn its attention to building a young core centered around injured all-star Kristaps Porzingis. Fizdale was most recently the head coach at Memphis, but his time in Miami as an assistant appears to be something the orange and blue liked because of Fizdale's relationship with LeBron James. The Knicks could be hoping his presence helps the team recruit James in free agency. That would be the equivalent of staring down the length of the field in football with 1 second to go on 4th down. Moving right along, the 144th running of the Kentucky Derby is Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. on NBC. Post time is 6:46 p.m. I like the favorite Justify, but Noble Indy could be a sleeper. The NBA playoffs roll on, and LeBron James has been at the center of it. James had an explosive Game 2 as he scored 43 points and tied his playoff career high with 14 assists in the Cleveland Cavaliers' 128-110 victory over the Toronto Raptors on Thursday night to take a 2-0 series lead in that Eastern Conference semifinal series. James was masterful in eliminating Indiana in 7 games in the previous series. Boston leads Philly in the other Eastern series, while Houston and Utah are tied at a game apiece out west, and Golden State holds a 2-0 series lead over New Orleans. In motorsport, Danica Patrick is gearing up for the Indy 500 later this month. Patrick made some headlines this week with a comment about how much more difficult driving an Indy car is than driving a stock car in NASCAR. Patrick will be driving for Ed Carpenter Racing in this month's Indy 500, and she's spending the early days getting reaccustomed to the faster, sleeker, open-wheel cars. She hit 220 miles per hour on Wednesday, well above any mark a stock car could drive. Major League Baseball intends to announce next week that the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox will be playing 2 games at London's Olympic Stadium in June next year. The 2019 games are set for June 29th to the 30th. These will be the first regular season MLB games in Europe. The Red Sox will be the home team for both games. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a couple of notes on those surging Yankees. The Bronx Bombers are a complete team. Their rotation is plenty good enough, with Luis Severino, CeCe Sabathia, and Masahiro Tanaka leading the way. During this 12-1 stretch, the Yankees' rotation is 7-1 with a 2.09 ERA. The bullpen is scary good, folks. Yankee relievers have a .91 ERA during this hot streak. And the back end, Dellin Betances, David Robertson, and Aroldis Chapman have been stellar. 14 innings, 0 earned runs, 7 hits, 5 walks, 24 strikeouts. Mixed in the beginning of Giancarlo Stanton finding his swing at the plate, Aaron Judge showing no signs of slowing down, and rookies Gleyber Torres and Miguel Andujar showing that they are for real, and the Yanks look destined for more this October. First baseman Greg Bird is just about ready for live at-bats, according to manager Aaron Boone. The lefty hitting Bird is due to play an extended spring training as early as Monday at Tampa, Florida, where he's been completing his rehab from right ankle surgery. Bird remains in the original 6 to 8 week time frame for his return, which would be sometime later this month. Sure, lefty Jordan Montgomery's elbow injury is a significant issue, but there are tons of big arms in the minors, most notably lefty Justice Sheffield, who was just promoted to AAA. Expect the Bombers to be players this July for whatever they need at the trade deadline. Detroit Tigers right-hander Michael Fulmer is believed to be on the Yankees' radar. Major League Baseball, the Yankees should be on your radar. They are for real. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. The Pregones PRTT Theater is holding its Stage Garden Rumba, where art meets green, and it's filled with live performances and fun for people to enjoy. And this year's event features spoken word artist Flaco Navaja, who will also be presenting a 4-night run of Evolution of a Sonero. And well, he's here to share with us, I guess, the evolution of a sonero. Welcome, Flaco, and so excited to have you here. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. I mean, I'm beyond elated to have you here.
Thank you. It's been a minute.
Yes.
It's been a minute. It's a pleasure to be here, though.
And we're so happy that you've come back. I think the last time I had you on was almost like maybe 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it was when you were doing East Willie B. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things I want to say is that you have been really blessed with just continuously working and developing your craft and just working in all areas of the arts, right? Because I mean, I introduced you as a spoken word artist, but you're a lead singer, you have your own band, you're an actor, you've done commercials, you've been on, I don't even know if I should go through your resume of all the television programs that you've had featured roles in. And so it's really an honor to have you here and see you.
Thank you.
Where you are now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think blessed is a definite way to put it, and I'm happy.
Yeah, and the fact that you're sharing it with us is our blessing, right?
Thanks.
And so let's go and let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Pregones, because you've been doing a lot of work with them, and I know you just came back from being in the West Coast, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, Pregones, the PRTT is a home for me, and I've been blessed with the opportunity of becoming an ensemble member of this historic and very iconic and important group of people that does amazing work in the theater. So yeah, we just got back from Los Angeles. We were doing a wonderful festival out there called Encuentro de las Américas, which put together a bunch of theater companies from all over the United States and Latin America, and did some wonderful work. So we was out there for a month performing one of our best pieces called El Apagón, which I have the honor of performing with Jorge Merced, who happens to be the director of my piece, El Evolution of Sonero. And so yeah, Pregones is just awesome. And I'm blessed, like I said, to be a part of that, to have them in my corner and supporting me in my ambitious, this ambitious project of mine.
Yeah, and also in your development, right? Because you've been able to fuse your poetry with your singing and all of that and do it in theater, right? Which I believe, I want to say we originate from the theater. Like, we're thespians, right? Yeah. We've performed together, like, on so many projects, like many moons ago. And so let's talk a little bit about how Jorge is now playing this role of your director and what your process has been in birthing this evolution.
So Evolution of Sonero is a solo piece, and it's a solo piece with a three-piece Latin band. Like you said, I have all these aspects of my personality and my artistic personality that come together to create who is Flaco Navaja. So this piece is kind of talking about those things. And Jorge has been just very instrumental to keeping me on track, stopping me from chickening out and canceling the whole thing, and maintaining this fire under me to help me produce. So, and he's kind of guided this process through different prompts, through keeping me on a structure and not letting myself get overwhelmed with like this daunting task of creating this piece. We have this date. And so yeah.
So can we define for the audience what sonero means?
Sure. Sonero is a salsa singer who uses knowledge of vernacular, rhythm, and style to improvise his delivery in between choruses.
That's a skill. That's a serious skill, because we're talking about like, you're just going to free flow it and wing it according to what comes to you in that moment, on rhythm, on beat, and on key, right? On key. Music's not.
No, but you were right. On rhythm and on key.
And on key, and have a point, and have an arc in the story, or have some kind of point to be made, right? Because it's kind of like, back in the days, it's kind of like a way of telling news, right? And so now it's an art form.
It's our Puerto Rican griots.
Yes, yeah. And so you've mastered that, Flaco.
I wouldn't say mastered,
I
but...
say mastered because it takes, you have to have exercised that enough to be able to just confidently go up there and kind of just trust whatever's going to come out. That's mastery.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yes. And so I look forward to seeing this and hearing more about it. And we don't really have much time to discuss it more, but I do want to share before we go that you are going to also be performing in a garden, which I find interesting, right? Because I have this thing with nature and the fact that Pregones is now doing this outdoor rumba event that you're going to be giving a taste of this performance there.
So Pregones is partnering with Nos Quedamos, which is an organization that is doing a lot of work in community gardens all over the Bronx. So they're trying to reclaim these spaces and put together culture with community and nature. And Pregones has this very beautiful small little garden on the side of their theater. So we're going to start, this is going to be like a launching of these of these various events. And as well as myself, tomorrow, the event is tomorrow.
Right, Saturday, and it's
the 4th of
right,
May.
and it starts at what?
From 2 to 6.
From 2 to 6, and it's a family affair.
And it's free.
And it's free. Oh, my favorite word, free.
Yeah.
Favorite word.
So besides myself, there will be Los Pleneros de la 21 who will be performing. Also, spoken word artist, poet, Bonafide Rojas. And I'm sure I'm missing someone else.
I think it's Miteri Tucker.
Yeah,
the Bombazo Dance
super
Company.
Bombazo Dance Company. So we have an eclectic group of people
And it's
that
gonna
it's
be
going to be amazing.
Awesome. And it's going to be outdoors in
Yeah.
nature. And before we go, the El Sonero de...
Evolution of El Sonero.
Evolution of El Sonero.
Is going to be performed at the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, which is on 47th Street in Manhattan off of 8th Avenue. And we're doing 4 shows, only 4 shows. That is Thursday the 10th at 7 p.m., Friday the 11th at 7 p.m., Saturday the 12th one at 3 and one at 8 p.m. And you can find tickets on pregonesprtt.org.
Woo! Flaco Navaja, everyone! I'm so excited that he's not only here talking about all of this, he's going to give us a little taste. I yell like that. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, Flaco is going to perform one of his poetic masterpieces called Verse 1, and you don't want to miss that. Come back. We'll be back.
If you want to stay in the know about the latest happenings in Español, check out Diálogo Abierto, BronxNet's own Spanish show, Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. on Channel 67. The latest in news, arts, culture, politics, and what's going on in your neighborhood. Diálogo Abierto, the best way to stay connected in Spanish. See you there. Te esperamos.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. Here now to perform his piece, Verse 1, let's snap our fingers for Flaco Navaja.
For as long as I remember, I always wanted to be a singer. In my 3rd grade talent show, I sang a menudo song, Because of Love, the English version. We were born because of love, gently taken care of. I even asked them for a chair so I could put my leg up and sing like this. Bien dramático, menudo style. Sheltered with love through the years, and thanks to love, today we're here. I tied shoelaces up my legs and my arms and put a bandana on so I could look like Menudo did when they came out in silver spoons. If you drift against the tide, you make it there with love at your side. It was a hit. In my head, at least. But it wasn't until I was about 10 years old that I got bit by the salsa bug. South Bronx, Patterson Projects, 1987. Abuela Julia's apartment. On one corner of the room was a leather recliner. Abuelo's leather recliner. Forbidden. On the other side of the room was an old school record player. Tío Maxi pulls out a record. Or as my father liked to call it, un long pling, which years later I figured out meant long play, or LP for short. Anyway. Professor Wanaka, my Uncle Maxi, he called me professor because I was a little skinny kid with thick glasses and buck teeth. I had a 3-point program to fix my appearance. Get contacts, get braces, and gain weight. 2 out of 3 is good enough. Maxi. Well, Uncle Maxi was a Vietnam vet who burned his Marine uniform when he got home from Vietnam. Abuelo kicked him out of the apartment because Maxi refused to take down the Angela Davis poster that he had up in his bedroom. That was Maxi. Proud, radical, Boricua. Professor, ven acá. What? Wait. Bueno, vaca. You know what the problem is with kiss these things? The problem with kids these days is that you guys don't have no respect for community and no pride in where you from. Wait, no te vayas, no te vayas. Come here. This is important. You can play that Nintendo later. Listen, when I was a kid, we took over Hostos Community College. You wasn't even born yet. Huh? But I was about 25, and it was about 5 years after I came home from Vietnam. And we took over Hostos Community College because what was going on, the city had put together a fiscal review board. Huh? Eso era una junta de pendejos. Don't say that word. Anyway, they were put together, and they were the ones that decided what money gets cut from over here, what money gets cut from over there, where it goes over there, and not over here. You know what I mean? And I was a student at Bronx Community College, and I was hanging out with the Puerto Rican Socialist Party. ¿Cómo? No, hombre, no, it's not that kind of party. I mean, we were social, and we partied, pero no, it's like a political thing. ¿Cómo te lo explico? Okay, let's say you get a piece of pie, right? And you put in $5. And your best friend Tommy, he only puts in $3. And another friend only puts in $1. In socialism, everybody gets the same amount of slices. It don't matter how much money you put in. You get it? No? Pues te lo explico another time. Anyway, I was still a rookie in the community organizing game, but that was a very important time in my life, man. I met people that are still my friends to this day, like Ramon Jimenez and Panama Alba, and these people taught me a whole lot. And let me tell you, even though we got arrested y la policía casi me cae a palo, I will never change anything that day. And the whole time, there was music playing. And I'm not talking that music like you kids listen to, que foki, todo es malas palabras, y sabrambicha this, y sabrambacha that. ¿Cómo que you don't listen to that? What do you listen to? The Doors? No, you sure you didn't go to Vietnam? Anyway, listen to this. They call him el cantante de los cantantes. And not for nothing, you kind of look like him. Sam pa bam pa bam. Thank you. It's like.
Oh my goodness! No, we got
to edit on the fly.
We got no.
I was looking at the time
no,
like,
no. Thank you for being mindful, but thank you for sharing all these underlying messages.
Cool.
Yeah, right. Because we're here. Right? But we still carry our roots with us.
Absolutely. I feel like we're an amalgamation of all of our experiences.
That's right. Que viva Puerto Rico.
Amen.
All right. You guys, once again, the Stage Garden Rumba is taking place on Saturday, May 5th from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Pregones Theater Garden in the Bronx, located at 575 Walton Avenue between 149th Street and 150th Street. The event is free. So also make sure to check out Flaco in Evolution of a Sonero. We just gave you a taste of that, and that's taking place May 10th through the 12th at Pregones PRTT Theater in Manhattan, located on 304 West 47th Street. And for more information on Flaco's upcoming performances, visit pregonesprtt.org. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios, everybody.